Let's combat and fight back with maltracks. The war of the minds, they want control of the masses. And Common Core, they dumb us down in the classes. Without knowledge, we can't gain access. Build with the elders, take notes and write classics. We keep whining on the block, how it's gonna stop? Let's start supporting our own, make their supply drop. We buy stocks, then we buy blocks. Cause we know the truth and we tuned in to Dr. Maat.
Peace and love, family. Welcome to another Truth to Power Talk with your sister, Dr. Maat. Thank you for joining another powerful discussion I have with me tonight. Another powerful guest, Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. Chairman, how you doing tonight, King?
Keep my head up, Revolutionary. Appreciate for having us on with you tonight.
Hey, I appreciate you coming on, Chairman Fred. I know you're a busy man. As we stated before we went live, you said, I'm in my office right now. And you said, my streets is my office. And I said, salute, because that's where the work is. And that's where the work needs to be done. The work needs to be done out there on the street. So I see you got, as they say in California, 10 toes on the ground, 10 toes down in the streets, doing the work of the people, doing the work for the people. And so I appreciate you, Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. But before we get started, family, I'm going to read the chairman's bio. All right. So Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. is the son of Chairman Fred Hampton and Deborah Johnson, now known as Akua Njeri, who was 8 months pregnant when Chairman Fred Hampton was assassinated in 1969. He was named Frederick Johnson at birth, but his mother had it changed to Frederick Hampton Jr. when he was 10 years old. In the streets of Chicago, Chairman Fred Jr.'s organizing skills were evident as he mediated street tribe truces long before they became media events. His speaking and writing abilities, probably inherited from both parents and his lineage, also lended to his earned respect on the streets and attacked by various state apparatus. An organizer, non-pario, Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. has also worked internationally, leading and supporting campaigns, speaking, utilizing spoken word, and educating in the demand for the freedom of political prisoners and self-determination. And it says right here, Chairman, at the bottom, that you are the founder of the Black Panther Party. It says CUBS. I guess that's Cubs, if I'm not mistaken, Chairman. CUBS?
Correct. Yes. Cubs.
Yes. Love it. So thank you so much again for coming on. Family, at this time, please go to your social media pages and share this video. Tonight, we're going to be discussing the life and legacy of Chairman Fred Hampton Sr. and the Black Panther Party. So right now, family, please go to your social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, wherever you are, and share this video. All right. So Chairman, and I see people are joining us from all over. I want to say hotep to everyone in the building. I see you, New Black Order. I see you, Babalade. I see you, The Real Clyde. I see you, Sister Vanessa Davis. I see you, Edria. I see you. Oh, there go my queen mother, Althea, foster kid, Hop Harris. I see you all in the building. Thank you so much for joining us. I see family joining from France right now. So hotep to my French-speaking brothers and sisters who are in the building, hotep and Mabote. To you all. So anyway, Chairman, let's get started. The first thing I want to, point out is that we're in Black August. And so, we call the month of August Black August because a lot of things went down in August. The Honorable Marcus Garvey was born in August. He was born on August the 17th, 1887. And then we adopted the red, black, and green flag, on August the 13th, 1920. The Nat Turner Rebellion took place in the month of August. The Haitian Revolution kicked off in the month of August. And your father's birthday, Chairman Fred Hampton, is in August. I believe your dad was born on August the 30th or the 31st, if I'm not mistaken. And so, we also commemorate the birth of your father in this month of Black August, in the Black August celebration. And so, I brought you on, Chairman, because I said to myself, if we talking about Fred Hampton, who is the person that should be talking about, Chairman Fred Hampton Sr.? It would be his son. So I'm honored just to be talking to you right now, Chairman, and to have you on this platform. You know what I mean? This is legacy lineage that I'm speaking to, and I'm honored to have you. But Chairman, so before we get into your dad, I want to talk about the Black Panther Party, because I do know that he was the chairman for the Chicago chapter in the 60s. And so for those who aren't familiar with the Black Panther Party, because again, we got some brothers and sisters joining abroad. Let's talk about the Black Panther Party for a second. You know, how it was founded, why it was founded, you know, what was the climate that gave birth to the Black Panther Party, who were the founders, what were their objectives, and some of the things that they were able to accomplish.
Right on. Let me say, express revolutionary appreciation for having me on again. I'm self-critical. I know we're gonna have some background noise to the people, but I'm literally. Let me add this to my bio if I can. In the eyes of the government, I guess I'm seen as a 3-strike offender. 1, for simply being African. 2, for being the son of Chairman Fred and of Akua and Jerry, formerly known as Deborah Johnson. 3, for continuing to fight for liberation of our people. And our position is that the government or any entity considers that a crime, so be it. As you stated, you know, what I'm saying, I'm literally out here in our office. One of our mottos is the Black Panther Party Cubs, and let me just, even with that term, because some people may be subjective when they hear that term Cubs, and may think, well, does that mean that these are the youth? But no. But the deal is, in the spirit of our mantra, our position is actually we're the great grandchildren of Garvey, the offspring of Malcolm, and the ideological Cubs of the Black Panther Party. And I'm glad that we have an international listening audience. In fact, you said France in particular. And in fact, we have a case this past August 14th. Our deputy chairman for our organization, Deputy Chairman Franco, is fighting a case. He's going to set to go to trial this past August 14th. A case he was given, which was a statue around the area of Saint Denis, and a lot of our work is targeted that he was targeted by the government. He faced some criminal charges. So we the Black Panther Party Cubs is an international organization, and I think, let me say this too. I add this too. I actually happen to be just for the benefit of those who don't know. I'm coming on late, dealing with some health issues with my mom's. I'm actually my mother comrade. She's here with me right now. This is my mom's right here. I'm trying to get too close to her with the COVID because just picked up from the hospital. That's Akua and Jerry, formerly known as Deborah Johnson. I think the Black Panther, our position is the Black Panther Party is an organization that continues to be under attack, and it's not that many people don't know about it because their geographical location. I think it's a concerted effort to continue to obliterate or malign the legacy of the Black Panther Party. Many people tend to water it down. In fact, as Malcolm X had assessed the March on Washington, he said the ruling class position was, we can't stop it, let's co-opt it, water it down, change it, make it something to be. The reality is the Black Panther Party was a revolutionary organization that started October 16, 1966 in Oakland, California by Minister U.E.P. Newton and then Chairman Bobby Seale. It grew to be an international organization. Initially, it was the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense that in particular addressed the dynamics of what was referred to as the police brutality, which we refer to now as the police terrorism. But again, it grew to be an international organization. It has survival programs such as the free busing programs of prison, free clothing programs. In fact, the Black Panther Party implemented the first free breakfast program, in which in Chicago alone, they fed a minimum of 3,500 children a week. It was an organization that even by the federal government's own accounts. And I point that out because in many cases, when we say the white man said or the government said, that people can take it as a fact. But by the federal government's own accounts, it said the Black Panther Party was in existence. There was a record low, I reiterate, a record low to what they refer to as black-on-black crime. And with that being said, some people may take a position, well, why wouldn't the government acknowledge or commend them for these works? But the reality is that this system, anyone that believes this system wants to stop crime in our community, you believe Don King wants to stop boxing, because it's a livelihood, it's an economy based on of us going to the penitentiaries and the graveyards, to the concentration camps and the graveyards. It was a program created by the former director of the FBI, J. Edgar Hoover, COINTELPRO, architected by the deputy director of the FBI, William Sullivan, a counterintelligence program. In fact, before he was chairman of the Black Panther Party, Fred Hampton, as a youth, you know what I'm saying? I want to distinguish that too, because people with these titles a lot of times, especially with revolutionary organizations, they think it's just some sort of lackadaisical, just just acknowledgement. But the deal is, Black Panther Party was not a ragtag group of individuals. It was a structured organization. And but Fred Hampton, at the age of 13, right before he turned 14, literally took the junior NAACP from 7 to about 300 members in a 7.5-month time period. The DC Bureau of the FBI thought it was a typo when they tried to see how old he was. They called for a wiretap to be placed on my grandparents' phone. So he was watched even before he became a member of the Black Panther Party. Under his leadership, the Illinois chapter grew to be the largest chapter of the Black Panther Party throughout the world. He, as well as his respective organization, was targeted by the infamous COINTELPRO, that same infamous COINTELPRO that was responsible for the assassination of Dr. King, April 4th, 1968, Lil Bobby Hutton, April 6th, 1968, forcing countless of individuals to political exile, and many individuals today we still have the case of political prisoners. So this is many people say, well, the Black Panther Party just faded away. No, it was attacked and still is being attacked. In fact, where Chairman Fred is buried at right now in Haynesville, Louisiana, his tombstone is shot up annually by law enforcement, like clockwork. In places like Menard Penitentiary, where the gun tower still have my picture and Chairman Fred's picture in the gun tower. In fact, many people may forget these dates or forget the significance of this organization, but let the record reflect, after the assassination, and we stress that term. In fact, people can Google. It was when we went up on the stage and we checked in the address. Jay-Z, a popular rapper Jay-Z, when he euthanized and said that he arrived the same day Fred Hampton died. Our position is that brutal terms call for brutal realities. You know what I'm saying? Our community in particular is deprived of the acknowledgement of a war being waged on us. Other communities have acknowledged that they have what they call propaganda bombs. It's called love and hip hop shows for us. You know what I'm saying? Being oppressed is embarrassing. So that's why we try to jive ourselves about it, try to euthanize about it. And we come with that structure. And it's not only because of a race contradiction, it's also a class contradiction within our community, that many people theoretically say they have issues with the white man or the system. In practice, they have a reverence for it. You know what I'm saying? As David Walker said in David Walker's appeal in the 1800s, the most intelligent of African descent can say something, it will become a doubt or suspicion. But a white person from any walk of life can say something and becomes a fact. The Black Panther Party shook the stratum. Chairman Fred was Deputy Chairman Fred of the Black Panther Party, not because of the state, not because Mayor Daley acknowledged it, the people acknowledged it. Deputy Minister of Health Ronald Doc Satchel was Deputy Minister of Health not because the CDC acknowledged it, because the Black Panther Party acknowledged it. We went up in Chicago to defend the newspaper before, turned the tables over, corrected these J. Edgar Hoover's of journalism when they devalued the relationship with Chairman Fred's wife, now widow, to say his girlfriend. Because the Black Panther Party was a unique organization that did not just say on Monday the state is oppressing us, and then on Tuesday go to City Hall and say, could you validate our relationship? It was a revolutionary organization in theory and practice, and the Black Panther Party, Cubs, is the organization carrying their legacy. We said it's a tough act to follow. We attempt to not walk in their footsteps, but their Panther Paw steps.
Well, thank you so much, Chairman, for that beautiful. Thank you so much for that beautiful breakdown on about the Black Panther Party, who founded the Black Panther Party, the achievements, their achievements. You highlighted those, and so thank you for that. But let me ask you this, Chairman. You know, what was the climate like? Because I think that, you know, I want to, and I know that, you know, Black folks, we catch hell all over the world, right? But what was the climate like for Black people in America at the time of the birth of the Black Panther Party? You know, why did they decide to found it? I really want you to get into that. What was the climate like for Black people, and how can we compare that to the climate today, Chairman?
Excellent question, sister. Excellent question, Doctor. I think first, let me premise with this. I think Black people in particular, we speak French too much at the wrong time. This is no disregard, to our people that's colonized in France, but we say we too much. Reality is that you know what I'm saying, that we all don't have the same issues. We're not, you know, like I was just commenting to my mother comrade a minute ago, how there's a lot of issues that talking about how the contradicting with the post office, how present day they talking about how Donald Trump is shutting down the post offices because he foresees the whole thing about, you know, the mail-in votes. And this is something that many people, other people in the black community are saying, whoa, this is a surprise. But however, where I grew up, where I live at, in Inglewood, in the colonized community, this is the norm. There have not been no mailboxes. So even we talk about the climate of the Black Power movement in the 60s, similar to that, also even the era of chattel slavery. There was an interview they did with, I think, LL Cool J and Puffy Combs, and they traced their lineage. They could find no record, no traces of anyone in their family being slaves on plantation. I said, there's no surprise. There's no surprise. They couldn't find nowhere in their DNA, no sign of struggle with these individuals. And the deal is, in our communities, there are different dynamics. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to give this absolute. You know what I'm saying? It was a climate in the 60s that, you know what I'm saying, that prior to the tenure of former U.S. President Richard Milhouse Nixon, you had the class peace of U.S. President John F. Kennedy, where the petty bourgeoisie enjoyed the class peace. However, the Black Panther Party took an unpopular position by calling the contradictions about this same individual whose biological brother was Attorney General, who Robert Kennedy, who sanctioned the wiretap on Dr. King, who called the contradictions about John F. Kennedy, who implemented the Green Berets, countless assassination attempts on Commandante Fidel Castro. So then when Nixon, under the tenure of Nixon, the heat came. So a lot of people say they became, a lot of people became all of a sudden conscious. You know what I'm saying? But the deal is, prior to that, and the revolution, as Minister European News said, the revolutionary, one of the most difficult tasks of a revolutionary is to fight in the interest of people, even when they don't know their own interests. We have a climate right now today where you see the dynamic of death is recognized, but that's the record reflect. This is nothing new. You know what I'm saying? On the bottom, on the underbelly of capitalism. You know what I'm saying? And so our position is to seize the time when it's a conversation where a lot of people can relate to it. Comedic genius Richard Pryor, who was heavily influenced by the Black Panther Party, talks about even how he gave an analogy. Yeah, white people can ride through the black community and see needles and dope residue around the nose, nostrils of black people, and they say, that's a shame. Then they come home and their sons come on the front porch with a can of Budweiser beer, and they say, oh my God, it's an epidemic. That is not only a contradiction within race, also it's a contradiction within class. You know what I'm saying? So the 60s, you had a dynamic where the Panther Party was, before it became popular, to talk about the contradictions. You know what I'm saying? They was addressing these contradictions from the ground up. And you know, then you seen the climate where, you know, so the ante was being up. You seen search, even the street organizations, the unpoliticized street tribes, the formerly known devil disciples, say we now not to be known as the black disciples, due to the political education we received from Chairman in the Black Panther Party, the Blackstone Rangers and the Black Peace Stone Nation, and even reactionary individuals such as James Brown was forced to go back in the studio and come back out and say, I'm black and I'm proud. You have forces like Imam Lamine, present political prisoner, then those H.R. Brown, literally told him, you better go back in the studio with that garbage you're talking about. He came back out, said, I'm black and I'm proud. It was a climate where he couldn't pull that stunt he pulled later on in the Rocky movie wearing the red, white, and blue drawers. Similar to the climate, when we at Borders Bookstore in north side of Chicago, we had a conversation with Kanye West 8 hours before he said what he said about George Bush. So it's not a blanket approach about all black people just came, you know, came together, was under attack. Again, there were different dynamics, and the party was putting this into the ground, assessing what time to move, what points of unity different organizations can be brought to, you know, and also not dealing in the absolutes. Who can be able to commit a revolution, distinguish the revolutionary act from that of being a revolutionary?
Goodness gracious, Chairman, family shared. Oh, I hear some feedback. Let me mute the mic. So family shared this video. Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. is dropping bombs right now. He's actually, Chairman, some of this history that you're talking about, a lot of it, you know, I didn't know, you know, from the stuff you said, hey, had to check James Brown. You said he couldn't come out with that stuff. He had to go back in there and say, I'm black and I'm proud. And let me ask you a question, Chairman. Do you think that's the case right now with this particular climate? You got a lot of these rappers now, they claim to be conscious and they're promoting blackness. You had Beyonce, she just dropped Black is King. And so you got these different artists who are, you know, talking about blackness. Do you think it's the same sort of thing that took place with James Brown? Do you think it's the same thing, Chairman?
It's a constant. It's a consistent contradiction of many individuals being black when it's beneficial, playing Panther when it's profitable, connected to the Cubs when it's comfortable. It's a consistent contradiction, and it's no slight. We welcome individuals that have some points of unity to the struggle, but as realists, you know what I'm saying? It's a philosophical tool that we relate to, that being dialectical materialism. In other words, we come to grips with conclusions, not just on faith, or we take into account history, you know what I'm saying, plus logic, and say, okay, when these certain, we say he turns more than me black. He turns more than me black. You know what I'm saying? Example, you know, Michael Jackson, this can say, don't make a difference if you black or white. When that case came down on, he changed his tune. They don't care about us. You know what I'm saying? So we have to, like a gardener, you know, study the soil, study the climate. Some of these cats, he never had no rain hit them. Ain't never seen no thunderstorms. You know what I'm saying? And that's a class contradiction. You know what I'm saying? Again, that people have to be, that we have to heighten, and also recognize that there's a difference between a revolution and a war. The deal is, a war is two occupying armies that suit up and boot up and get down to get down. A revolution we've seen in Africa, we've seen in Vietnam, you've seen in Algeria. We've seen right here in the confines of the United States, where you know, everybody has some point of unity to the struggle. It be, the music, the fashion, the different, the language. You know what I'm saying? The different dynamics are changed. You know what I'm saying? So it's not putting people in the absolute that you have to say, okay, that you have to be, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people approach the community from a non-realistic point of view. These individuals who the Panther Party refer to as armchair revolutionaries. A lot of these organizations they give us, they call community actors. They need a GPS map to find a way through the hood. And I like the term Richard Pryor say he's a peopleologist. We have to study the people. You know what I'm saying? It's no slight on them, but the deal is, you know, recognizing certain dynamics. Like, you know, I just told you earlier, I'm in this. I have some car trouble right now. When I approach my mechanic, I come with a humbleness. I say, okay, what you say wrong with it? You know what I'm saying? However, when it comes to our struggle, you see an arrogance raised up. When individuals who, you know what I'm saying, just think that they just jump overnight and just say, this is a revolutionary. This is the Black Panther Party. And it's ironic because you deal with people's lives. And as Chairman Fred said, revolution is a scientific art that must be perfected. The role of entertainers, they play a key role. Commandante Che Guevara said that the role of the propagandist can be as important as that of the guerrilla. But again, structure. Many people have a disdain for structure because one, many people, their first contact with structure has been delegated to them from who? The state, police, army, marines, so on and so forth. I have been fortunate to have been cut from the cloth, to have been carved from the cloth of the organization that stood up on his own terms, made his mistakes on his own terms. You know what I'm saying? We go out there, we don't need no test, no validation, no white man to say these children, the grades are not up to par. You know what I'm saying? Anybody, whether it be black, white, or red, anybody that's going to school hungry, is going to pack their ability to do English, math, whatever. So what do? The Black Panther Party, you know, they didn't engage with Chairman Fred, called a whole bunch of intellectual masturbation, just a whole bunch of talking about it. They implemented the Black Panther Party Free Breakfast Program. And it was not a program of charity. It was a program that served the people and got the people involved in it. And it said it gave place of land for even entertainers to play a role. The late Nipsey Hussle, Nipsey Russell, comedic genius again, Nipsey Russell. Nipsey Russell had made a joke about it. He talked about it, how when he first came into contact with then Deborah Johnson, now known as the Cool and Jerry. She's 7.5 months pregnant. She coming in with she rank and file of the finance committee. Let the record reflect, this wasn't just Chairman Fred's wife, this is his comrade. So when she come to go approach Nipsey Russell about the programs, Black Panther Party, he said, I ain't gonna be giving nobody no money for no guns. But he talked about how he took an envelope of money and put it up under the door for the Black Panther Party Free Breakfast Program. This is a claim Richard Pryor held honor when he talked about he met Chairman Fred on New Year's Eve in Chicago and left a $1,000 donation to support the Black Panther Party Free Breakfast Program. However, this has been a climate where people have things that have been twisted around. The deal is that the dog wag the tail don't wag the dog. Streets make the music don't make the streets. And they'll say as opposed, you have a climate where cats we're gonna fight to get this guy back on the football, get him a job on the football field. You know what I'm saying? You have a climate where, you know what I'm saying, where the ruling class put entertainers as our leadership. They asked Malcolm X before, where Jackie Robinson disagrees with your position about violence. Malcolm said, wait a minute, hold on. We don't be quoting no Bob Hope with no Marilyn Monroe for you, your leadership. Could you imagine white folks come up out of watching the movie Die Hard? Talking about, I wonder how Bruce Willis feels about nuclear weapons. No, the ambassador for Venezuela was in the Bay Area about 15 years ago. This under assassinated Comrade Hugo Chavez tenure. So the ambassador of Venezuela was talking about the revolutionary organization that he had dialogue with, he met with, the FLN for the Puerto Rican organization, this and that organization. When I asked him, who have you met with from the black community? His response was the African drummers. That's a war tactic to put the deal is revolution is a scientific art. There are different roles individuals can play. We, the Black Panther Party cause, we call it the code of culture. A lot of y'all have seen it, y'all ain't seen it. Y'all probably seen the Dayz Chappelle show, but didn't see how the code of culture was implemented. How when I came on the stage, how we talked about the case of political prisoners. See, opposition is too many of us in the same because we talking some bling bling. We gonna say we have the code of culture. We have the educational ethic. You know what I'm saying? That means that people in schools, institutions, you know what I'm saying? You have to make the class project work on these cases. The Sunday out of Cola, but when y'all boot your mom, so on and so forth. Ironically, our best results have been not the people from these elite universities, but these children from these throwaway schools, these children who've been abandoned. You know what I'm saying? We said the Black Panther Party, because we turn the communities into classrooms.
Oh my goodness. I wish I could drop bombs on everything that you said, Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. And thinking, and I'm sitting here right now and I'm looking at who just joined the chat. Peace and love to brother PFK Boom in the building. So when you talk about the streets and how the work is in the streets, PFK Boom, he's the founder of 300 Gangsters right here in Baltimore. And when I say that they put the work in, Chairman, they put the work in. These brothers, not only do they feed the homeless, not only are they down at City Hall and pulling up politicians, not only are they G-checking people who come to Baltimore and try to run out with a bag, these brothers have a program where they purchased a van. And so they transport people, you know, to see their loved ones in different prisons. These brothers have a hotline for inmates to call and connect with their loved ones. I mean, they raise money and all sorts of stuff and provide inmates with resources. I mean, they do so much. So shout out to 300 Gangsters in the building, brother PFK Boom. I see you, brother. I see brother Ramsey Muhammad, Amadaye. Peace and love to you, brother. I see brother Cohen Davis. Peace and love to you, brother Cohen Davis. Said this man has the same fire as his pops. And so anyway, Chairman, moving into, you know, speaking of your dad, can we talk about him, you know, for a brief moment? You know, I know you gave us a lot of good information on the Black Panther Party, the climate that produced the Black Panther Party. We talked about celebrities and how now they're riding that wave of promoting blackness because it's the thing to do right now. You talked about revolution and what it takes, what it means to really be a revolutionary. And I love how you talked about structure. And you said that we don't like structure because we first got the structure from the state. And so that's why we have a disdain for structure. So you broke that down. But can we move into the life of your dad? I know he was a chairman, you know, in the Chicago chapter, and we know what ultimately happened to him. But can you talk about him, you know, for some time? You know, your dad. Let's talk about your dad.
Chairman was a revolutionary. A lot of people say, well, you know, I hear you talk about him. I don't hear you say, you know, your dad, so on and so forth. The deal is, him being the chairman does not negate him from being my father or Deborah Johnson's husband or Francis Niberia's son. See, even not only a lot of people have a twisted version of structure. Now, I don't know. Let me be clear too. I don't want to just go absolute on that either. As this young brother on the streets told me last week, one of the young guys with the Black Disciples, I was telling the youngsters. He said, "No, we still got it." He said he still got it. It's not. You know what I'm saying? We damaged, but we ain't destroyed. There is some people, and a lot of times, I like that one of the guys that commented the other day. They had all these different entertainers on some talk show, and they talking about their families, their lack of families, how, you know, so they no men, they had no frame of reference to any men, and the way it was doing with an arrogance, like that's the absolute. And the brother said, "Hold on, that's not the everybody don't have that." You know what I'm saying? And so I think it's important that we acknowledge that there are some dynamics, like similar to the narrative that the ruling class gives us about the era of chattel slavery. You think everybody just happy picking cotton? You know what I'm saying? But the deal is, no, That was some reason. I think that should be acknowledged. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a book called Black Confederates. That was the Negroes who get up north and escape back south to pick cotton. But when you being bombed, it's like music. That's all you getting. You're on the other end of the spectrum. There are some people, you know what I'm saying, who have been fortunate to relate the structure. There are some people who've been fortunate to have seen an organization. Then on the other end of the spectrum, there are those who have been deprived of that. And our position is that they should seize the time when they and acknowledge that whole dynamic structure. Again, Chairman Fred was a servant of the people. He was, you know what I'm saying, he was targeted by the federal government prior to him becoming a member of the Black Panther Party. You know, so he was armed with a politic that was able to not only grapple but deal with the, you know what I'm saying, the race as well as the class contradiction in one of the most segregated cities in this country. You know what I'm saying? It was Chairman Fred who authored the Rainbow Coalition, and it wasn't some march group of people, you know what I'm saying, a bunch of people just coming together. You know what I'm saying? They didn't cut no corners about it. The Black Panther Party was the vanguard party. It was what made the Black Panther Party unique. You know, you say, well, I know a lot of groups they doing this, and I know my auntie, she did this, she fed people. My friend did this here. The Black Panther Party. It was a politic. In fact, it was some internal struggles at one time. Minister UEP New's position was that we must even politicize the gun. What made our gun different from the pig's gun? People say, well, the Black Panther Party was a threat because they knew the law. Yeah, a lot of people know the law. Well, they was a threat because they had leather jackets. The Hells Angels had leather jackets. Oh, well, you know, they had this. The Black Panther Party was over 90% of the COINTELPRO was directed to the Black Panther Party, the politics of the Black Panther Party. Everything is political. And let us distinguish politics from electoral politics. We're not just talking about no plantation politics, who voted for who and all. I'm talking about the dynamics of the gun. I'm talking about of resources, contradictions, how we deal with each other. It's political, the terms we use, the fashion, everything. What Annie? What up to Annie? What forced James Brown to get rid of the cock? What up to Annie? Where had the devil disciples give us? We now renounce ourselves, the black disciples due to political education receiving Chairman Fred Black Panther Party. Will was able to flip the script after the FBI told the vice lords they'd get him 16th Street under the condition of the Black Panther Party to open a free medical center on 16th Street. Will was able to secure Chairman Fred's life when he went to Stateville. I think gave him a trumped up case, and at that time they call you by your prison number, not by your name. Whenever he responded, his only response was, I am Deputy Chairman Fred Hampton, Chapter Chairman of the Black Panther Party. They deemed him to be so they call criminally mentally insane for refusing to answer number 7 to what they did during the era of chattel slavery. If you ran away, they said you had a thing called drapetomania. Something's wrong with you for trying to escape. A lot of other Negroes bought into it. I don't want to catch that. I still suffer from that right now. Me, I still got it. I ain't trying to get cured from it. So when Chairman Fred got down to Menard in 1969, I met these same guys there in 1999. Their history was working with the prison administration to do hits on prisoners. This was their hustle. That's the reality. We're not cut from the cloth that all black people on the same thing. Once you give them some green juice or, you know what I'm saying, or read a book to them, they're going to get on the same. We deal with the real world. So once Chairman Fred got in there, politicized them cats. There wasn't no free food, wasn't no free breakfast to get them down there. Wasn't no guns to get them cats down there. The politics, to the point they told the warden, we on Chairman Fred's security now. Anything happen to him, we holding you accountable for it. To the point that the rules that get changed in the Lord Department of Corrections, they got to call you by your last name now, as opposed to your number, because the position that Chairman Fred took, not as an individual. See, a lot of cats used to what I call the Spreewell effect. What that means is, Spreewell, when he played for New York Knicks, he checked their coach for disrespecting him. Him. The Black Panther Party was an organization that had sacrificed, that stood for the people. See, I can't say, oh man, yeah, that dude don't play. I was another war story when I was in Deathville. Another guy named same name, Fred. He part of one street organization. They moved us, they locked the penitentiary down. Then I overheard the guard training the new guard. He said, listen, that Fred right there, if you mess with him, you're gonna have a problem. He said, the other one, he said, the other one with the Panthers over there, he said, him, if you mess with anybody in this penitentiary, you got a problem. That's one of the dynamics of Chairman Fred, Deborah Johnson, Deputy Mr. F. Doc Satchel, Defense Captain Mark Clark, servants of the people, Minister UEP News, servants of the people. Minister UEP News said there's a difference between a revolutionary and a hero. A revolutionary gauge and you say, whoa, that was a hell of a move you did. Revolutionary, the people say, I can emulate, I can relate to that. As servants of the people. Now, a lot of times you can't do that because it's premature. A lot of cats know them between a servant or a slave. Like you get in a relationship, you like, oh man, this sister, you gotta say, hold on, has she ever seen a black man in her life? Vice versa. Some men say, hold on, has he ever seen a black woman in his life? You can't draw for a foregone conclusion. I can't never see no black organization. They go, I'm trying to get a flyer done yesterday for the upcoming August 30th Chairman Fred street party. I had to go through 10, 12 struggles with this cat. He kept putting this dynamic from his image, Black Lives Matter. I said, listen, man, no disrespect. That's your frame of reference, man. That's your no disrespect. This organization. A lot of places think that they had no frame of reference or no organization standing up, on their own terms for black people. But you even deprive of ours. And if you want to miss the boat on opportunity to give, we tell people, say, listen, we riding for freedom. Get in. Take your damaged baggage and throw it in the trunk. You know what I'm saying? Whatever issue you got with men, women, structures, masses, throw it in the trunk. We're going to ride to freedom. If you attempt to throw it inside the engine, it's going to be a problem. Might get ran over.
That's right. That's right. Woo! Chairman Fred Hampton Jr., your mind is just sharp, brother. But I love what you said. You said he was a servant of the people. You know what I mean? And you said some people don't know the difference between a servant and a slave. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for that. And you said so much, Chairman Fred, in that little bit of time. It was something that you said that sparked a thought in my mind, and I wanted to address it, but I can't even think about what it was. But hopefully it comes back to me. But thank you so much for that, brother Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. So you said he was a servant of the people. And so I love how you talked about how he was incarcerated and what took place, during this incarcerated. And then even kind of related that to what you went through when you hooked up with them. Oh, this is what I was thinking about, political prisoners. And so you mentioned Sundiata Acoli, and so what kills me, Chairman, and if you could speak to this, I got a message that came across my feed. You're on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. So something came across my feed. Monica is going to free C Murder. She's going on this campaign to free C Murder. And then you got Meek Mills and them tweeting free C Murder. And you know what I was thinking, Chairman? I was thinking free C Murder. Hell, free the political prisoners. Free Sundiata Acoli. Free Mumia. So I'm yelling out free political prisoners. And so if we're really serious about prison reform, right, and freeing people, why do you think the celebrities haven't started with the political prisoners? Can you speak to that? Why are we concerned? And this is no disrespect to C Murder and all the other rappers or other brothers behind bars who may be innocent of what they were accused of doing. But can we talk about how these celebrities will push this, free Meek Mill, free all of this, but you don't see that same energy with freeing the political prisoners? Can you speak to that for a second, Chairman?
Well, deal is it's not simply a contradiction that limited to that of entertainers. Again, we got to acknowledge the class contradiction also. In most cases, I mean, let the record reflect. When I was locked up, there were many organizations, people who people may see as progressive, who would not touch the Free Fred Hampton Jr. case, who wouldn't touch it. The case of political prison, like a lot of other campaigns, unless white folks validated for a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? You say, okay, you can talk about this here. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not just the case of political prisoners. It's even warfare. Like, I use the analogy when, I forgot what I think it was George Bush Sr.'s tenure when they invaded Iraq. You had cats on the streets, oh yeah, man, Saddam Hussein, he out of order. I said, why you say that? He violated the no-fly zone. I said, where you get this type of acumen? Where you get this type of dialogue from? White folks done told you can talk about it, you know what I'm saying? So many cases, when the ruling class tells people that they can talk about the conflict between the presidential election between Gore and Bush, you have people say, okay, let's talk about the Electoral College. Because, see, another dynamic about the Black Panther Party, it didn't wait for it to become safe. You know what I'm saying? See, with us, our politics, we don't serve cold meals, literally or politically. A lot of people come out, you know what I'm saying, wait till it's safe to talk about certain things. Okay, yeah, you right, saying let's talk about this 300-400 years ago. You know what I'm saying? We give it to you how to play, even when it's not fashionable. So a lot of dynamics. We're not waiting on Oliver Stone to make no movie about this. Say, okay, man, Chairman Fred Jr. was framed up. We say it when it's unpopular. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these cases, in fact, let's go to the C Murder case. It was over, I think, man, this was some years. This had to be over 10, 15, man. I know at least over 10 years ago. I recall, probably his present publicist, but it was a representative of his case. We have a chapter in New Orleans, Louisiana. And it was just right after the case we had dealt with this before Hurricane America. A lot of people call it Hurricane Katrina. We get credit where credit is due. Katrina didn't kill nobody. We called it for this Hurricane America. So we out there just dealing with the case in Razoo, where the white bouncer had choked his brother to death in New Orleans. So then when the representative C murder case had contacted us, I was like, I just get back in Chicago. And she told me about the case. I said, okay, listen, maybe help us out, get a bus ticket, get the cuz down there. Her arrogance, she kept saying, you know who I'm talking about. I said, oh, I hear you talk. I know who you're talking about. I said, maybe you got the BPPC mixed up with the NAACP. We ain't stargazing. You know what I'm saying? The deal is, so a lot of people, it's a class arrogance. See, Nas, the hip hop artist Nas talked about Fox News being bogus when, as they disrespected Michelle Obama. Now they disrespect the black folks in general. So it's similar to, see, the class contradiction, you can look at the race contradiction and say, like, again, you know, Richard Pryor said, a lot of people see it's an issue when it comes down to famous folks. You know what I'm saying? But we don't get caught in division amongst our people. How the Black Panther Party cuz position is, free them all. Not free them all. We said in our plain, lamest language, free them all. That includes C murder. And includes the C numbers in the north. And includes Mumia Abu Jamal. And includes Sunday Adekona. It includes your cousin. People say, well, man, I don't agree with that, man. I'm freeing them all, such and such. We say the United States Marines say kill them all, let God sort them out. The Black Panther Party cuz say free them all, let the people sort them out.
They said say that. PC Sister Jasmine Tyler, she says say that family at this time. Please share the show, hit the like button. Please share the show, hit the like button. I do see people watching from Facebook. If you're watching from Facebook, family, head on over to YouTube. Type in Dr. Maat in the search engine, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so that as soon as I go live, you will be notified. Tonight, family, I have with me Chairman Fred Hampton Jr., and we're speaking about the life and legacy of Chairman Fred Hampton Sr. and also the Black Panther Party. So, Chairman, I know we're winding down. It's 9 o'clock, and so we're definitely winding down. I want to know this, Chairman, how can we, you know, if you have some brothers and sisters who are watching this discussion right now and they want to contact you or they want to support, you know, what you're doing in any way, can you tell them how they can get involved? You got brothers and sisters that may want to get involved. So how can we contact you? How can we get involved? How can we support you?
Right on. Well, definitely a phone number right now, 773-256-9451. Also, they can go to, I'll be remiss if I don't mention this campaign. A major campaign we still fighting is Save the Hampton House. Save the House that Chairman Fred Hampton grew up in. And they can email us at savethehamptonhouse@gmail.com. Savethehamptonhouse@gmail.com. I'm on Instagram at free_m_all radio. I don't be on as much as I should be on, but also on Facebook, we have the Free Them All Radio. The show is hosted every Wednesday by myself, Chairman Fred Hampton Jr., and also Lady Rage. They come on Wednesday, 6:30. That's 6:30 p.m. Central Time. You know what I'm saying? But and those in Chicago, close Chicago, man, they come. They meet in my office, the streets. My work out 24 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? We out here. So you know what I'm saying? In fact, we said the Cubs are coming. The Cubs are coming. The Black Panther Party Cubs are here. We are an international organization. We're in Saint Denis, France. We're in Sao Paulo, Brazil. We're in Oakland. You know what I'm saying? We you name it. We out there. But again, those contacts, they can hit us up. You know what I'm saying? And we say, please, if y'all can't put in y'all calendars, come on down to the Chairman Fred Street Party, August 30th. Gonna be, you know what I'm saying? We're going to be at Ground Zero. Now, I know a lot of people think about New York, September 11th. We were talking about where two of our twin towers, quote unquote, failed. 22-year-old defense captain Mark Clark, 21-year-old Chairman Fred Hampton. We'll be right there at that site, 12 o'clock noon, and we got a caravan. The funeral procession is still continuing for Chairman Fred. We riding from that site to the site he grew up at, to the Chairman Fred Hampton Pool. That's August 30th, Sunday, was going down.
Beautiful, Chairman, beautiful. And do you have a Cash App? I know a lot of people are sending money via Cash App or PayPal. Do you have a Cash App or PayPal, Chairman?
Right on, Revolutionary. Appreciate me for acknowledging that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, people can support your Cash App, Save the Hampton House. Cash App, Save the Hampton House. They can go also GoFundMe.com/Save the Hampton House 50. But the Cash App is Save the Hampton House.
All right, so Chairman, how much money needs to be raised in order to save Chairman Fred Hampton Senior's house? What money? What amount of money are you looking to raise?
I'm getting my feet wet. Excuse me. We getting our paws wet dealing with this whole, and I mean literally getting our paws wet. the basement. We having floods, ceilings been falling in. So we didn't got the banksters and to back up off us for a minute. Took the mortgage, the banksters to back up. However, we got still bring the building up to code. So again, we got the basement's flooding, tuck pointing. So we getting different numbers here and there. You know what I'm saying? It ranges from 250,000 to 500,000. So the GoFundMe, I think it said 350,000. And I only commend those who have given thus far. That's for keeping us afloat. You know what I'm saying? Not only we say save and maintain the Hampton house again, because it's not a subjective thing. Or I just want to be in my daddy's house, but it's a campaign that, you know what I'm saying, that the programs, you people coming out, heard some brothers the other day in the front, man, come on, there's always some food in front of the Hampton house, some clothes, you know what I'm saying, to survive the programs that, and not charity, but programs to get the people involved in fight for self-determination. So again, we still, when they ain't drowned us, we still swimming. Whatever support people can give, we say, come on with it, come on with it.
Ashe. And so you have a question. You have a question, Chairman, in the chat room. It says, curious, how much input Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. and the family had on the Judas and the Black Messiah movie from Warner Brothers, soon to be released. They want to know, did you and your family have any input on a movie entitled Judas and the Black Messiah? They said Warner Brothers is getting ready to release that, Chairman.
It's what I mean. Purpose with this too, it's also Warner Brothers and also Macro, a company of Charles King, and let me put this in context too. This is not the first attempt. There's been a number of different attempts in regards to different a movie, a book, or something about Chairman Fred. In fact, Forrest Whitaker was trying to do something at first, and some guys, they told people in the party, say, man, that man's son don't play no games. If you see, so Forrest Whitaker, he went to go look for greener grass. He did the Butler, Antoine Fuqua. You know, so they tried, and they didn't want to touch down with us, and so on and so forth. And in this piece here, it was some contradictions. You know what I'm saying? I mean, some heated contradictions, but we able to dialogue. So now with the producer, Ryan Cooley amongst others, and you know what I'm saying. So we mind you, I was on the set, and not only consulting, I do a lot of damage control too, because it's so much misinformation that. In fact, I struggle with my mother camera. I said, sometimes I think maybe we be kind of subjective, you know what I'm saying? Because it's stuff that I drew as a foregone conclusion that people knew, but it's been so many bogus books and misinformation. Man, we just come to here's an era of class peace. In other words, after the military defeated the Black Panther Party, a lot of us had to go underground. A lot of us still locked up. Certain conversations that we still can't talk about. You know what I'm saying? So man, I'm still gonna organize the organization I got now. So it was. We had to do like we call the octopus tactic. You know what I'm saying? Be a million places at once. They filming in Cleveland, Ohio. We went down there, the Cubs, and you know what I'm saying, a lot of struggle. And it's ongoing. Analogy I use for this. I said I dare not attempt to relate to what women go through with childbirth. You know what I'm saying? However, I say, in all humbleness, I say it was one of the most inspiring, straining, uplifting, draining. It was like a tug of war. You know what I'm saying? I still jump up at nighttime sometimes and cut. Just the whole dynamics of it. And when the sister said, "Well, that's kind of like childbirth," I said, "Well, I look forward to this baby being born in." However, you got to still keep your head up for the editing / vaccination process, all that. You know what I'm saying? So, but just even in the trailer, it was a lot of struggles that are going to that point. I look at it. I can't look at commercials the same no more. It's like when I was locked up. When I got in the boxing ring. I say, whoa, I say, it's not like a regular street fight. I say, there's a science to that, and I never look at 2 minutes again. It's the same way. So it's a lot of struggles, you know what I'm saying? But again, no regrets. And we attempted to put as much as what we call a Panther political peel into the applesauce. You know what I'm saying? And because we could step back and say, man, don't fool with this and blah. However, as Minister UPN said, our people don't read as much as we like for them to read. So we try to find innovative ways to get information, you know what I'm saying? Because it's stuff, it's stuff that people say, that little trailer, people who know me, who've been around me, they see it on, now they say, oh man, I didn't know Chairman Fred organized Rainbow Quarter. I said, oh, now the movie just told you that you can see it now. So it's a balancing act. It's a balancing act.
Absolutely, Chairman. And we have another question. Pierce asks, Chairman Fred Jr. recently mentioned a podcast where he was going to break down the movie. Is that still happening?
Thank you, Pierce. Thank you. You're good. Your audience, they right on, right on. I'm glad that's important. That's forthcoming soon. The podcast will be talking about those different contradictions, no doubt about it. And that's something that was needed because, and we do it in a way again. It's objective, not just regards this movie, just the different politics of the making of a movie, so on and so forth, and what because you people say, well, can Hollywood gonna be telling the truth about Chairman Fred? I said, well, the deal is, to quote another famous movie, a movie called Few Good Men. Jack Nicholson's character said, "Can't handle the truth. Y'all can't handle the truth." So the deal is, their thing is entertainment, but I think it's to make sure that we don't compromise the legacy of Chairman Fred on the Black Panther Party. You know what I'm saying? And certain things we still can't talk about right now. This ain't no. I have issue with people going to giving too much detail about the Underground Railroad because it's still going down. We're still under attack.
And thank you so much. Ooh, let me I had some feedback. I just muted you. My bad. I've been trying to like mute to keep down the feedback. All right, Chairman. So thank you so much for that. When is the movie dropping? I didn't even know this movie was coming out. So I thank Dream Clyde or Stride for telling us about the movie. But when is the movie dropping, Chairman?
It's up in there because aside from we still going through struggles about we took what can be what's in there, what's not. It's still some issues going on. Then in addition to that, the whole climate, with the pandemic, the coronavirus, all that, So the deal is it supposed to be released in mainstream movie theaters. This is supposed to be for theater. So a lot of stuff is still being assessed how that's gonna be, how it's gonna be brought, So it's still. But I'm gonna say this. This one thing, the recent discussion that has been happening just even recently in regards to releasing the trailer, it's inspiring. I see even the struggles, the pros and cons. I recall a situation. I was in Stateville, excuse my English, Deathville, and I remember I was reading Nelson Mandela's Long Walk to Freedom, and I disagreed with the ideology, but however, it happened to be some guys upstairs and some other sales for me, and they were struggling about some trivial issues, about some trivial stuff. And I came on the gallery. I said, man, I envy what these cats is going through. They was showing the ANC, the PAC, Black Conscious Movement. I said, just to even have that type of dialogue, that climate. So even now, you see a more mature type of dialogue where people are struggling, bringing some questions like, okay, what's the position about Africans in diaspora? At home, who should play chair? It's some real mature type of some good struggles being brought out just with the trailer. So I said, come on with it. Excuse me, come on with it. Come on with the conversation. Let's up the ante. As Leonard said, it would take people 20 years to learn ordinary times. They learn in 2 years of revolutionary times. There's been a class piece that existed prior to this when people, want to have trivial conversations. Look at a movie like, oh, I think this person looks just like this person looks good. No, we have to up the ante. We have to have some serious, real deal political dialogue. So I don't know when it's supposed to be getting dropped, but I think it's important that we seize the time with the type of conversation that's happening right now.
I couldn't agree with you more. So again, Chairman, thank you so much for coming on the platform. I know you're a very busy brother, a very busy man. So I do appreciate you coming on the platform. And shout out to brother Don P. Don P was able to connect me with you. It's actually my cousin. And then she connected me with Don P, your nephew. And so Don P called you on a 3-way and you said, sure, I'll come on the Sisters platform and talk for a few. And so shout out to brother Don P. I know he's watching. I was just texting him. He was running around Buckhead. I said, the chairman's coming on tonight. He said, I'm going to tune in. So peace and love to you, brother Don P. Peace and love to you, cousin Essie. So Chairman, do you have any closing words for the listening audience?
Hey, we say, free. I match with free them all. Revolutionary appreciates for having me on today. Revolutionary appreciates to the people. For as Minister UAP News said, without the people, revolution is impossible. Keep your heads up, eyes open, fists clenched, y'all. For it. Let's make history. Let's take history. Let's take history. August 30th, Chairman Fred Street Party, y'all. Again, revolutionary love and respect, y'all. Keep your heads up, eyes open, fists clenched. What's the call? Free them all.
Oh, free them all. Ashe, Ashe. Someone said, So I'm up here looking at it all. Someone said this was a blessing. So free them all. So thank you so much, Chairman, for coming on, family. Look, I'll be back on tomorrow. It's so many topics, family, that I want to talk about, but I think I'm either going to talk about empowerment or exploitation. I don't know. Or I might talk about the psychological impact of the European standards of beauties on the minds of Black women, African women. So I don't know yet, family, but I will be back here tomorrow. But in the meantime, family, go back and check out the archives. Just 2 days ago, I had on Brother Larry Shaw. We talked about interracial relationships. Are they natural or are they engineered? Prior to that, I brought on Brother Marcus Klein. Peace to you, Brother Marcus Klein. Brother Marcus Klein from out in Chicago. You probably know him, Chairman, but peace to you, Brother Marcus Klein. So I just had Brother Marcus Klein on a few days ago to talk about, revolutionary elitism, the effective education, the importance of teaching and learning authentic history. Prior to Brother Marcus Klein, I brought on Dr. Maat to talk about spirituality before religion. So family, go back into the archives. Go back into the archives and check out those discussions. Chairman, did you want to say something?
No, you mentioned Marcus Klein. Y'all just mentioned. I previously was educated at Freedom Home Academy. I taught there years ago, back.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we talked about Freedom Home Academy. He was talking about his school and how they offer online curriculum.
Yes, I taught.
Beautiful.
There. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So family, go in and check out the other discussions in the archive. I see you, Sister Effie. Please to you, Queen. But go in the archives, family. Check out the other previous discussions. Join me back here tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, thank you for joining us tonight. Peace and Black power.
Let's combat and fight back with maltraction. The war of the minds, they want control of the masses. And Common Core, they dumb us down in the classes. Without knowledge, we can't gain access. Build with the elders, take notes and write classics. We keep whining on the block, how it's gonna stop? Let's start supporting our own, make their supply drop. We buy stocks, then we buy blocks. Cause we know the truth and we tuned in to Dr. Maat.